Did I ever tell you about the beautiful view I have in my flat? If I haven't, let me tell you now. It's 11 p.m. I'm seated here in my closed balcony and I can see the moon, beautiful big moon. I can see the Lisbon Bridge, that for the ones that do not know it, is very similar to the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. And I can see the Cristo Rei, which is a big statues of Jesus, which are kind of major symbols here in Lisbon. I can see them all. So it's a lovely place to sit down and record another episode of the Indie Founder Podcast. As you know, as I told you in my last episode, I was learning and I'm learning to say no to myself. And because of that, I have been reducing a bit the number of episodes of the Indie Founder. But it's been a while. I don't even know how long since my last episode, but probably, a month? And a lot of new things have happened. Very exciting personal things. And I would love to share those with you. So that's the topic of today's episode, catching up, keeping the folks that still follow this podcast, which I truly appreciate, in the loop. And of course, always focused on my indie entrepreneurial life with a few lessons in between. So let's get started with another episode of the Indie Founder Podcast. Normally every Monday, but now we are getting into uncharted random territory. Let's go. So let's start with the first big, huge news that happened, which is my co-founder, João, is now a father. Yeah, crazy. After working together for, I think it's now 3 years in Podsqueeze and knowing him for, 15 years now, he has become a father of a beautiful baby boy. And it's definitely an exciting time for him and for me as well as his friend. And now the question that you might be asking is, how do you take care of parental leave? Like, how does that even work? And let me give you the official answer and then the indie answer, right? In the official answer, we have a company in Portugal. And having a company in Portugal means that we are both the managers, the partners, and the employees of the company. We are employed by our own company. And this means that, of course, we pay all the taxes we have to pay. Therefore, we have rights when we have the parental leave right, which is, if I'm not mistaken, 60% of your salary. I don't know, like between 60 and 80%. So it's a percentage of that salary that you take. But of course, to do that, you need to take time off. And then the state will pay that for you. But you cannot get paid by the company. Now, the way we have the company set up, our salaries are not super huge. So because of that, it didn't really pay off to take all the measures and the bureaucracy to activate this, because in the end we made the calculations and you wouldn't make that much extra money. So the thing that happened is he's still employed in the company, he's still working in the company, and he's a father. Now in reality, and I guess for the ones that have been parents already and are listening to this, you know that especially with a newborn, you don't have much time. And it's funny because when we were talking before the birth, he was, Tiago, chill, I'm going to work. And I told him, no, come on, let's plan this ahead. We know that at least for 1 month, it's going to be tough. I have stories of friends that have been parents, and everyone tells me that for the first weeks at least, it's tough because the newborn doesn't have the same schedule as you. You cannot sleep. It's a lot of new information, and you need to take care of him or her. In this case, it's a him. And he was like, "No, man, it's going to be easy. We can do this. No problem." Okay. I wish you could hear him now. and we'll do definitely interviews in the future and talk about this. But nah, it's not easy. Uh, and of course, he cannot work, and rightfully so. I would not expect him to work. I think it's time for him to support his family and to, enjoy this time, enjoy life. That's the beauty of being an entrepreneur, is we can control and we have the freedom, right? So he has to enjoy it. And yeah, it's definitely a different experience for him. And a few things will change. And then we were talking briefly about this, that as entrepreneurs, as indie makers especially, one huge perk of this lifestyle is the control. More and more, I appreciate this. I feel privileged because when I see people with like an office job in an office that is not super nice, not well lit, where they cannot see the sunlight, and they are doing this every day for years and years, I think, oh my God, that's terrible. I know that we also kind of do the same, right? Like we also have our own office and we work sitting in the desk. And sometimes I do feel that, especially when it's a beautiful day outside, that, oh man, what am I doing here? But the thing is that I can like leave it. And sometimes just go for a walk. Sometimes there's days that we take off. Just now me and my wife are going to Gran Canaria for like 20 days. Just, workation, work from there, chill. I don't need to ask for permission. And it's amazing. It's a beautiful lifestyle. And of course, that with the kids, this changes, right? Because the kids as needs is not only you anymore. You need to convince the kid too to come with you. It requires your attention. And once he gets into school, there's the schedules again. Those schedules that we were tired of having, and we kind of worked our asses off to be able to release ourselves from them. Well, they are back. and this is something tough for an entrepreneur to wrap their heads around it. That's for sure. But that's the beauty of this podcast. This is the life of an indie founder, of an entrepreneur, where we share everything, all the aspects of life, the good, the bad, the different. And in this case, of course, I'm not saying that it's bad to have a kid. Not by far. There's definitely, and I bet it's very rewarding. But let's be honest, some stuff is a compromise. And it's important to share those things. Not everything are roses, right? So, now what, and then I guess what you're thinking and what I was thinking is, okay, so now in the company of two people plus AI, we only have one person. And you have one person dealing with one successful project and 3 or 4 other projects that are still in phase 1, growing phase or launching phase. How are you dealing with that alone? And to be honest, I think we are really lucky because the projects we made, they are very low maintenance, especially Podsqueeze. It's just there. It reached the plateau for sure, but I think I mentioned this in the previous episode, that sometimes you can look at one thing as the glass half full or the glass half empty. And when you look at Podsqueeze, you can either see, okay, I'm putting 12-hour days and the MRI is not changing, or you can see I'm working 3 days 3 hours per day, and the MRR is not changing, and that's positive, right? So yeah, I do feel that it's completely fine for actually both of us to take time off and maybe just check our emails and do maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours maybe per week, just to fix some bugs, answer some emails. And we can do that for maybe a month, and nothing will change. Like eventually it will start changing. Eventually you'll start, seeing things piling up, small bugs that you're not fixing. You're not keeping up with your competitors, and eventually you'll start seeing the business going down. But it takes a long time, and I know that for especially 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you can do it, and it won't affect much. You will not grow, most likely. If it's plateaued, it's you're not working, so nothing will change, but it won't affect much. So it's only been 2 weeks since he has been a father, and to be honest, I don't feel that him not working is impacting the business. Now, it does impact me a bit personally, because I really thrive from I need to be with others, and now the office looks a bit empty. My wife was supposed to go, but she hasn't been going as well to the office, so it's basically me, and it's a bit empty. And I do feel that sometimes I have the need to chat, and both just to chat about, for entertainment, for leisure, to talk, to socialize, but as well to bounce ideas. So those things I'm missing. And there is definitely some work piling up, some tasks that I took over, but to be honest, really not a lot. Now, of course, that this has been only 2 weeks, and maybe I can do this for a month or two. Eventually, things will start piling up. But it's nothing major. It's really nothing major. So I've been telling him, chill, enjoy the process, figure it out, and don't worry, because everything is under control. Now, of course, if suddenly things start falling apart, I don't know, right? If there's a big, huge issue, something that is rare, but it can happen, maybe then I will need to activate it or fix it myself. Of course, I can also do that. However, if that doesn't happen, it's completely fine. It's smooth sailing. Now, in the past, and changing a bit topics, in the past weeks and months, we have been working on different projects. I've been working on Rank Chase a lot, which is our tool that will help you find backlinks. And backlinks, for the ones that do not know what this is, it's basically other websites in similar niches as yours linking to your website. This will basically increase your domain authority and will make Google rank you higher, which is something important, of course. And I've been thinking about this, the method of entrepreneurship. And if you follow me, and especially João, you know that is always very excited about finding the recipe for the entrepreneurship. I've also been trying to follow that, and I'm not the only one, right? So recently, for instance, the startup story, which was actually acquired by HubSpot. HubSpot, that's the name, right? From Pat Walls. So his YouTube channel is all about methods, like people that figured out methods to scale their startups, to build products. And he's always trying to summarize how the success of other entrepreneurs and kind of create a cookbook out of it. And we are always trying to do the same. And I guess there's many, many ways, many cookbooks. There's even within the indie founders, of course. I'm not going to even talk about the VC world, because that's a different beast. But in the indie founders, there's many cookbooks. There's the audience first approach, people that build an audience and then grow their audience and sell their products to their audiences. There are people that are really focused on SEO that will find keywords, build a product around that. There's people that focus on LTDs, that start with an LTD or basically build something, sell it as an LTD, make a lot of money and just repeat. So there's tons of cookbooks. And what I'm figuring it out and realizing is that I need to choose the rule book, the cookbook that works for me, for my personality, for what I like. Because there's many, right? It's like you like Italian food, you like Portuguese food, US, English, German, whatever, right? Indian. You have to pick the type of cuisine you like and then learn how to cook those recipes. That's exactly the same for entrepreneurship. And mine is, and what I'm excited about is the cookbook for bootstrapping multiple products. And I've realized that there are 3 phases. I identified 3 phases when building something. Phase number 1, it's the launch. You have a product. You don't know if it will work. You have to build the MVP. You need to get enough traction. And you need to get your first 100 organic visits per day. So if there is traction, if people really like it, you need to be able to get to at least this number. Why 100? I don't know. It's a round number. But if you are not able to get this consistency of 100 people using your tool, maybe something is wrong. Either you don't have product market fit, or something is wrong. You didn't find a proper way to reach out to the audience. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is, okay, you got that. Let's scale it to the maximum. Let's find all the distribution channels, SEO, YouTube, social media, LTDs, and like really grow and develop the product so that and normally in this phase 2, you have like the big growth, 10%, 20% every month. And that's what you want. It's very exciting. It's phase 2 is the most exciting, thrilling phase. And then eventually phase 3, which is where Podsqueeze is now. A plateau, or even if it's not a plateau, a growth of 2, 3, 4%, which is decent, but it's nothing major. And it's just, in this phase, you are maintaining the product. You are eventually trying to find other ways to go back to phase 2, other distribution channels. And I think for each one of these phases, there are different skill sets, different personalities. And I would love to build a company where we would have teams and people train for each one of these phases. And we are always like repeating, building something new, growing it, maintaining, and having multiple products. And this used to be really hard to do. I was recently learning about this company. It's called Bending Spoons. It's an Italian company, really cool company. Bootstrapped, and what they do, or at least I think they were bootstrapped. Now I think they found it, but it's kind of bootstrapped ideas where they buy companies that succeeded in the past, but now were dying for some reason or the other, maybe not good management or lack of features or something like that. And then they just get these companies and they revamp these apps and they make them, alive again. And there's tons of companies that you probably know. WeTransfer, they bought WeTransfer. Yeah. They bought Meetup.com, Evernote, all of these companies. Crazy. They were quite big. And then they eventually, they kind of died. And then they bought them. And they have like a huge team of like 200, 300 people just, learning all of these phases, how to get a company, how to close the deal, and then how to get a company that already has traction, of course, and to bring it to its golden days. Now, the reason why I think this method, my method, with the 3 phases works these days for a bootstrapped company is because of AI. Yeah, it's because of AI. Because now we can do a lot of things much, much faster. We can manage multiple products. One person can manage 2, 3 products, like even code wise, because they just have to talk with cursor and tell him what they want to do. It's so exciting. Like I really want to build this, and of course I cannot build it alone, and even only myself and João. That's too little. Like we need people for sure. We don't need as much people as we would need if there was no AI, of course, but we need people. Now the thing is, like, we are doing these things ourselves now, and as I said, Podsqueeze is in phase 3. All of our other products are in phase 1, and phase 1 is so demanding. You know, as I started this episode telling you that João went to parental leave and Podsqueeze is still fine, and we don't work much with Podsqueeze and it's still maintaining itself, because phase 2 is an easy phase. It's a phase that it's the glass half full, half empty kind of thing. It's easy. And phase 1, it's very demanding. It's so demanding. You're building something from scratch. You are learning from a new field, a new niche, a new industry. You are reaching out, spamming people to try your tool. You are trying over and over. I've been, for me, I use like Reddit a lot, but then Reddit's frustrating as well because you get banned a lot. And I'm just buying Reddit accounts. I've used all my emails, all of the emails I use them, and now when I create an account with that email, I'm immediately banned. Yeah. So now if you search for like buy Reddit account online, there's this website G2G, which I think is something like for gamers actually, to buy skins, and I don't know. I don't game. I don't know much about this, but to buy online stuff for games, but they also sell Reddit accounts. And it's funny how they do this. Basically, there's this Reddit forums where they are, I think they are called karma farms, where you just go there and get karma. You post stuff, and I guess, I don't know, they probably even have their own, like, so many bots that upvote your posts, and you get karma. And they also know that what type of posts work, so they just repeat that, and then they sell accounts for $5, $10, depending how much karma you want. So, which is crazy. That's really, really cool. So I'm just buying accounts, using Reddit to get traction, and now I've been working in rank chase. It's hard to know when to stop. So with rank chase, I told João, okay, let's give it 3 months, see how this goes. I think we are already probably in like a month and a half in, so we have one more month, roughly, a bit more, to just see how this goes. But like rank chase it's a community tool, right? It's a beautiful product because it doesn't require AI. It's not dependent on AI, which is nice because it doesn't have AI cutting down the margins. And we can do LTDs. We already did one LTD with rank chase. We recently tried to do another one with AppSumo, but they didn't want to do. So there's that. But it's very community driven. You need to always have more people with their domains there. And until you get that critical mass where you get people engaging, a lot of people entering, and like engaged people that will actually answer the emails for the domain exchanges, until you reach that, it's very slow. It's a very slow growth, and it's hard to get the value. So it's a really great product once you reach that critical mass, because it's very hard to reproduce. It's very hard for someone to just create a community like rank chase, but getting there is hard. So I don't know if we'll be able to do it. At some point, we'll have to give up and start building other stuff and focusing on all the other products, because that's the thing. And that's where the cap lies, right? So as João is not here especially, He did a lot of work before going into parental leave with regards to SEO. So we have all the other websites, all the other products, the Audio Enhancer, the Flarecut. They are like properly set up for SEO and are waiting for Google to pick it up. So they are just kind of marinating, but I'm not working on them. I'm not getting traffic. I'm not like analyzing the metrics to see what's going on. So yeah, I cannot do both. I can only do like one phase 1 project and keep maybe 2 or 3 phase 3 projects. And that's enough. Like, so I would need more people for sure. And AI is still not to the point that can just fully replace a person. Like it requires some maintenance. It requires I've made episodes here where I shared some of my AI protocols and processes. I have AI sending B2B emails. I have AIs sending the newsletters, and that's helping a lot. Like the B2B emails, no, it is not working. It's helping. It's there. The automation is working, but not the final outcome. But the newsletters, yeah, they are working. It's fine, but I need to keep an eye on it. I need to maintain it like an employee, I guess. And some other automations, they just don't work. And for instance, the shorts automation that makes shorts, I mean, it's bringing some traffic, but I'm not really sure if it's moving the needle. So there's a lot of things to do, and I need to focus. And this might be good or bad, right? Like when I have too much time, sometimes I can just focus on our own things. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to build. Is this like this cookbook, this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3? I need to give it a name though. I don't know what is the name of this cookbook, but hopefully one day I will be at Pet Walls. By the way, what did you think about this startup story being sold to Hubhopper? Hubhopper, HubSpot. Hubhopper is a different thing. It's funny because he reached out to me once, Pet Walls, to make a video. I guess I was not exciting enough because he said that after meeting me that he would not make the video. That I didn't have enough. I guess, yeah, I didn't have that cookbook that they are looking for. So maybe in the future I will have it and we'll be able to create something. But it's exciting. I mean, that he was able to sell, I think it makes sense. And that's kind of what I've been thinking. Like, besides SEO, for a bootstrapped company, I don't really know what else can we do for digital marketing these days. When I talk about SEO, I also talk about, GEO and LLMs automation, which is basically the same. I don't really know what else. Ads, it's not really bootstrapped and it's very expensive. You can do social media. And then you can do like content creation. That's the other thing. And we are really bad at it. Like, that's the thing that we are missing at our company. Content creation. I create this kind of content. I love sharing. I love creating stuff. I love this podcast, but I'm not super successful in this, right? And I've seen so many people like so successful with YouTube, with shorts. It's not a lot. I definitely more people having success with SEO. It's much more attainable. But yeah, there's people that have tons of success. Like if you look, for instance, to the cookbook of Thibaut and other, especially French entrepreneurs, but Thibaut has this cookbook where he finds influencer to start partnering with, gives him or her a percentage of the company, and they work together. And this influencer works really well. I'm not really sure. I just recently was listening to another podcast episode with another influencer, with another person, like French entrepreneur, that also has the same method. But now I don't recall. I don't really recall what was this company about. I need to check that. But yeah, like, that's the only thing that I feel that we are missing, that part. And we tried to automate that. We couldn't. And maybe one day, if we bring another co-founder, it needs to be someone really good at content creation. I think that's the thing that we're missing. Because besides that, by the way, like as I was saying, I don't really know what else we can do. We can do B2B. I guess that's another way with like cold reach out, emails. Those are things, but are very hard to like maintain. Like we've tried so many times sending these cold emails, but then you'll eventually get blocked, and it's nothing is as smooth as I guess SEO, and then eventually video creation. But you need to really be really good and focus on video creation to have this success. So yeah, maybe having as a co-founder or someone in that area that will be helpful. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed these episodes. It's been a while, so we are now all catch up. And if you want to try Rank Chase, I would love to give you a free account and upgrade one of your domains for free. So just reach out to me at WBTiago. If you're listening to this on Spotify, just take a second to give a review. It's super easy. Just scroll up and you can give a 5-star review. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, give it a like and a subscribe to the channel. That would be amazing. It helps us grow, helps us to reach more people, and plant the entrepreneurial indie hacker seed in other people, because times are tough and we need to be more independent. We need more entrepreneurs, more bootstrappers out there really creating value. I think that's really important. And that's also a passion of mine. Like, that's why I also have these podcasts. I have another one in Portuguese. It's called Negócios Sem Trela. If you're Portuguese, you want to listen to it. It's very exciting to do this kind of stuff. And hopefully more people in the future will leave their 9-to-5s, their kind of jobs where if you love your 9-to-5, that's absolutely fine and you can do that. But there's so many 9-to-5s that are so boring that I think it's really hard for people to love them. So yeah, please do that. All of this to say, like, subscribe, and give a review. That's amazing. I wish you a lovely week, and I will see you in the next episode of the Indie Founder Podcast. Till then, bye-bye.